and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick, with the City of Hampton's Communications and Marketing Department. And today's guest is Dr. John Dever from Thomas Nelson Community College. Welcome.
Robin, I'm very happy to be here.
Happy that you came by. And you know, I was looking at your bio and I realized you've been at Thomas Nelson now, well, this time, for just about a year.
That's right. I started in October of 2011, but I had been at Thomas Nelson from 1975 to 1995, 20 years as a faculty member in English and as an academic administrator. And then I went off to several other community colleges in Virginia in various administrative roles, but I always kept my home here on the peninsula. So I'm delighted.
That's great.
I'm delighted to be back here at the college.
And we're lucky that you came back as well, and you came back to head up our campus. That's wonderful. We were going to talk today a little bit about the workforce. We're going to talk first about your booming enrollment. And I know, from my own personal experience, because of the ages of my sons, I know a lot of kids who are in that just about to graduate from high school or just did graduate. And I'm stunned at how many of them are starting their careers at Thomas Nelson. It's kids that would have previously said, I'm going straight to a four-year college, either don't have the money or are cautious right now in this economy, and so many of them are starting at Thomas Nelson.
Well, of course, our enrollment has grown significantly over the past 5 years. We now serve over 16,000 students annually at Thomas Nelson.
Holy cow, yeah. That's like, UVA numbers almost. And I know they're not all full-time, but that's a lot of people.
And that's an 18% increase in our headcount over the past 5 years. Wow. And if you count the actual credits that they take, it's a 31% increase. So we've really grown. And
I bet you're stretching at the seams there, because it's a nice sized campus,
yes,
but it's
that's
not.
Right. And of course, as you know, we've added the historic Triangle campus up in Williamsburg. Right. And that's made a real difference in our ability to serve the Upper Peninsula as well as here on the Lower Peninsula with our Hampton campus. But the opportunities that we have for recent high school graduates to come to us to receive the first 2 years of baccalaureate education have never been better. We have guaranteed admission agreements with all the public universities in the state and many of the private universities, so that if the students come to us, achieve a given GPA and meet other requirements that the university might have, they're guaranteed admission to the university after they complete their associate degree with us and move on.
And I think that gives those kids a peace of mind. They understand that they're getting a good education, that those schools will accept, and certainly the price differential and the ability to live at home is really a way they can afford to do what they want to do.
Yeah, well, affordability is one of our key aspects. One of our essential elements of our mission is to keep our higher education accessible and affordable. Currently, a student can get a full year's education at Thomas Nelson, 30 credits, for under $3,800.
Holy cow.
And when you compare that to what the costs are at a residential institution.
Right, it's probably about 3 times that.
It's very, very much higher.
And you don't have that room and board. I mean, if you have parents who can keep you around for a little while.
And I can speak directly to this. My own son went to Thomas Nelson directly out of high school. He did very well, graduated from Thomas Nelson, summa cum laude, made me very proud as a parent, I'll have to tell you.
Congratulations.
Transferred to UVA, completed his degree in biology, and several years ago completed his PhD in biochemistry from Virginia Commonwealth University. So I know firsthand what a difference Thomas Nelson can make.
Well, I really think it used to be sort of the kids who maybe didn't get into their first choice school or weren't 100% ready for a four-year college started at community college. And now it's really not. I mean, those are the same kids who are starting at Thomas Nelson now.
We, of course, want to serve those who maybe are not sure about what they want yet, and that's part of our mission. We are comprehensive in terms of our admission policy, But we are getting many of those very capable students who are coming to us, doing great work. Our faculty is prepared to challenge them through our courses. So we have a very strong honors program and other ways of challenging the students to have that full collegiate experience. And the feedback we get from both the students and the universities after they transfer is very positive. They've been well prepared, and their performance at the university is as good as, if not better than, the students who start off there at the very beginning.
Well, you have to have a certain amount of drive to, and I'll say this because I've seen firsthand kids who didn't, but a certain amount of drive to make it work. When you have to get yourself up every morning and drive to campus and, go out and do what you need to do to be successful and get there. And I do think sometimes those kids are a little more driven to succeed.
Well, we work with them, and we understand that it's important that they take the classes, but we also try to connect with them as persons. Our faculty take that strong interest in our staff and those students. We keep our classes small. We don't have those huge lecture sections.
See, that's a big thing too.
With,
if you're taking biology
students,
101 or whatever,
you're in a small class. You're going to get that individual attention, and it makes a great deal of difference. And we work with students who are, learning to be and function at the collegiate level. Of course, we also work with our high schools, many of our high schools providing capable students with dual enrollment opportunities. That is, they can receive high school credit and college credit at the same time.
And you asked if I had any personal connection. I forgot. My younger son is at the governor's school, and so I think, I think
That's
he's
right.
technically getting a lot of college credits from Thomas Nelson
there,
right next door.
The students in those classes are following the syllabus that we have at Thomas Nelson, and our faculty and our deans closely supervise those activities. So it's a win-win. It's a win for the students, for their parents, for the schools, and for the college.
And we're lucky that you're in Hampton. I know you serve the region, but being in Hampton makes it that much more convenient for our kids to get there quickly and to have that resource right here.
Yeah. Well, of course, our location right off Interstate 64 in the Hampton Center Parkway makes us convenient for whether it's Hampton, Newport News, Poquoson, York County, James City County, or Williamsburg,
right.
all the localities that we serve, it's very, very convenient.
Now, if we were talking to a high school student, and probably we're actually talking to their parents because I don't know that high school students are going to be watching us, but what advice would you have, as they enter that senior year and begin to look ahead?
Okay. Well, I would particularly encourage them to get a goal, have a goal, understand what it is that you want to do and achieve. What I found is that when students have a goal, understand that they want to pursue studies in this area and want a career in this, it makes all the difference in the world in terms of providing them with the motivation to persist. It's okay if later you change the goal, and that's fine, but have the goal to begin with.
That's an important piece, because I think if you're wandering, that shows, and a lot of things are transferable. You're going to take some of the same courses.
The other thing I would encourage those students to do is to make sure that their basic skills, particularly in mathematics, English, reading and writing, are up to the level that they need to be. One of the things that we do for students when they come to us is we give them a placement test. We don't require SATs, but we do have a placement test that makes sure that they're ready to do college level work.
Right.
And they need to be prepared to do that. Now, if they're not prepared, we have what we call developmental studies in mathematics and English that work with those students to bring them up to make sure that they're ready for college level work. But many of those students, if they just take that senior year seriously,
that's hard. That's hard sometimes.
Will not have to do that. And so we plan to work more closely with our school systems to make sure that students are academically prepared as they move to the community college.
That's important. Now, if a student comes to you and they're trying to do the 2+2, so Can your advisors or guidance folks help gear them toward which classes to take and what that program ought to be?
Yes, we have a group of a very capable and dedicated group of counselors, and we have a group that is specifically assigned to work with our transfer students, that maintains very good relationships with their counterparts at the universities and knows what works and can help the process. If a student is unrealistic, they can help them be a little bit more realistic, or on the other hand, if they maybe could achieve more.
Maybe it's a reach.
Sometimes we want to expand their horizons and encourage them to pursue greater opportunities. We work with them in that way as well.
That's wonderful. So that way, a kid just doesn't sign up for classes, but as you say, has a plan, has a goal, kind of has something mapped out.
And we encourage them to get involved in campus activities once they're there. Classes are important, but it's important to have that full collegiate experience. And we work to provide those activities, those connections, those opportunities for personal growth and development that I think is a key part of that collegiate experience.
It is so different, I think. Like some students are able to do that and be involved in the activities, but a lot of other students maybe have to work or have to, have other responsibilities and still get all the academics, but maybe don't do the additional things that you offer.
And we've been talking primarily now about our recent high school graduates. Again, we serve those students very well, but I'd also like to point out that our student body is all ages. And in fact, 45% of our student body is 25 years of age or older. Now, most of those students we're serving through our workforce development program, but many
and we're
of them,
going to talk about that another time.
But many of those students, a number of those students are also coming to us to pursue their dream of a baccalaureate degree and to get the first 2 years with us. And one of the things I've found as a faculty member, how powerful it is to have that mix of ages and life experiences in the classroom. When they're all 17, 18, 19-year-olds, they're kind of all thinking the same way.
And it's fun because there's a tightness there that similarity brings.
But when you bring that mixture in and that diversity of experiences, it is a much more powerful learning environment. It's one of the things I enjoyed most as a faculty member, playing to that diversity of life experiences in our classes.
Right. You can learn a lot from somebody who's been through it. And as I said, a lot of these students are more driven because it is harder to go back. If you can go straight from high school to college, it's a convenient transition. But if you have been in the workforce, or let's talk about people who've been in the military and come back, you really have a drive to succeed and to have a plan for your future.
And I'll just say we're very committed, of course, to serving our veterans as well as our active duty personnel, their spouses, dependents, children. And we have a comprehensive program in that regard, and we're very proud of being noted as a military-friendly college by GI Jobs magazines that does the rating on that.
Yeah, that's so important in this area,
and so
important
critical
for that transition because we are sort of ending some of the deployments and coming to the conclusion of that, and those folks who've served our country so well are preparing for transitions and other careers.
Yeah, those students are very, very important to us.
And they're just at a different stage of their life, they're much more serious and have a lot.
And again, their presence in our classes adds so much to the dynamic of the learning.
Their experience is different, and they can be those role models for some of the younger students as well.
That's one of the most powerful things about the learning environment at Thomas Nelson Community College.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you. Is there anything else you wanted to add about the academic side? And I'm going to have you talk about workforce another time.
I'll just say I just want you to understand how committed our faculty is to excellence in the academic program. It's been I call it, it's in the DNA of Thomas Nelson. And when we bring new faculty on, I've seen that same commitment. They understand that's their mission. We want to do those first 2 years of a baccalaureate program as well as as anyone, and we really excel at doing that.
That's wonderful. And those smaller classes really help, I think, because kids don't get lost.
Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you, John, for stopping by.
Robin, it's a great pleasure to be here with you today.
Thank you. And I hope if you have a neighbor or a child or a grandchild who's maybe getting ready to graduate from high school, you think about this 2+2 program and the transfer and starting at community colleges. Good foundation and a money saver as well. Thank you.